Hello, everyone. Brian Brown, Head of CISO Engagement here at Trellix. Thanks very much for joining us for today's session. We're here to talk about some of the exciting new features in Trellix NDR 4.1. And I am joined by my colleagues, Haroon and Ravi. Gentlemen, would you like to just briefly introduce yourselves for our audience?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Ravi Yadreddy, and I'm the Director of Product Management for Network Security at Trellix, bringing over 25 years of experience across the security and telecom domains. Hello.
Hi, I'm Harun Malik. I'm the product manager for threat research and detection for NDR and across the Trellix portfolio. And glad to be talking to you guys today.
Great. Thank you, gentlemen, and welcome. We have just released Network Detection Response, or NDR 4.1, and there are some great things that we'd like to hear from you both about. Specifically, maybe Ravi, if I could ask you, what are the top two new features introduced in NDR 4.1, and why do they matter for customers?
Yeah, NDR 4.1 has a bunch of features, but if I have to list them, the top two are the NDR Hyperautomation, which is basically our response capabilities, and the OT support with Nozomi integrations. So, what does hyperautomation bring into pictures and what problem it solves? Today's SOCs analysts are overwhelmed. They're drowning in alerts, chasing false positives, and dealing with time consuming manual tasks. Even when NDR identifies suspicious lateral movements or potential exfiltration, the follow up actions such as enrichment, containment, ticketing still take a long time. So, this is where the Trellix NDR's hyperautomation service that is being introduced in 4.1 steps in. So what hyperautomation is a SOAR platform, SOAR service, but what it's based on a no code or a low code drag and drop design framework. That basically means that you don't have to write any code. It's essentially you're dragging and dropping the boxes, creating all the tasks behind the scene for a workflow to execute. So Trellix NDR provides deep behavioral detections, threat prioritizations, and L7 metadata visibility across east-west and north-south traffic. With hyperautomation, NDR alerts are automatically triggered, orchestrated playbooks that pull the context from various sources, such as EDR, SIM, identity providers through integrations, validate the threat using enrichment from threat intelligence and asset inventory, contain the high-risk assets at machine speed, such as blocking IP, quarantining, host, etc., and create and update those cases in the ticketing system. These playbooks created can be triggered across the Trellix and non-Trellix products. When I say non-Trellix, it can be Palo Alto, Cisco, and other products. Why does it matter? It matters because hyperautomation closes the gap between the detection and the response. SOC teams actually can go from minutes or hours of manual work to an automated investigation and remediation in seconds. It supports the response flow based on declarative integrations, which is more of a spec driven. That's where I said it's no code. It's easily shareable whereas if you look at some of the point to point app integrations that are more of a code driven, hence the susceptible to failures in deployment, quality, vulnerability, and are not scalable. That's where hyperautomation comes as a powerful tool for all response capabilities. Customers can develop their own apps for internal tools and own integrations which are not available in the marketplace. Overall, it increases the analyst productivity, reduces burnout, and strengthens your overall cyber resilience. Now, when it comes to impact, definitely, I mean, the SOC, it has a big improvements to the SOC. It reduces the MTTD and MTTR by almost up to 60% after enabling NDR and hyperautomation SOAR workflows, especially for anomalous encrypted traffic detections, lateral movements, DNS tunneling, and among others. Now, the second one, which is very important, is the visibility into OT networks. And why does it matter? Now, many organizations struggle to breach their IT security stack with their OT visibility. So Nozomi is a leader in OT and ICS deep visibility but without correlations across the enterprise assets, threats can hide between your IT and OT boundaries. So this is where Trellix NDR plus Nozomi integration solves the gap. Trellix NDR basically ingest the Nozomi alerts, assets, insights, and the network behaviors, correlates them with enterprise traffic to deliver a unified visibility across IT plus OT environments, cross-domain attack path analysis that connects OT events with IT identity, cloud or endpoint agents, prioritize those alerts combining the Nozomi's OT context with Trellix NDR behavior analytics. Now it's also that we get the automated actions through hyperautomation that can create workflows that can be executed on firewalls when threats cross IT or OT boundaries. So if you look at some of the high impact use cases which we are trying to solve with this integration, is detecting all the OT protocol misuse alongside enterprise lateral movement, is identifying the compromised IoT OT devices, communicating with unknown external hosts. It's pinpointing all the OT assets involved in data exfiltration attempts, like correlating Nozomi ICSLS with IT identity or endpoint behaviors. These are some few of the use cases. There are a lot more use cases which we are trying to solve with these integrations. When you bring all four together, the Trellix NDR, Trellix Wise, Hyperautomation, the source service I was just talking about, and the Nozomi Networks, you get an incredible powerful architecture. Deep visibility, advanced behavioral analytics, OT intelligence, and automated response all in one ecosystem. This will empower your SOC teams with faster threat detections, IT-OT convergence, visibility, high fidelity alerts, automated triage and containment, reduced analyst workload. If you are exploring how to unify NDR, OT visibility, and SOAR automation with intelligence, or if you want a demo of any of these integrations, please feel free to reach out to us. Over to you, Brian.
Awesome. Thank you, Ravi. I love what you've just been talking about, especially as it pertains to the hyperautomation side. When we think about some of the resource challenges in SOC and where they struggle a lot of the time, how we're helping with automating some of that response capability, in particular the ND, the R piece being very, very critical and a huge, huge time saver there with the low code or no code capability in hyperautomation. And then working with our partners, right? Meeting our customers where they are. For those who already have a Nozomi deployment, we're working with them. We're working with you to be able to bring value to the complete deployment and uplift the capabilities of the SOC, like you were just pointing out there, Ravi. Fantastic. Great advancements. Love that. So I have another question. I'm going to direct this one over to Haroon. Haroon, tell me a little bit more about detections. I mean, we've got that big D in network detection and response. Tell me a little bit about how we differentiate ourselves from some of our competitors in the NDR arena, please.
All right, two-part. But detections. Now, what are customers going to get this time around vis-a-vis detections, and how do we stand out from the rest of the pack? Well, this time around, we're going to get domain controller-based anomalies, your DNS anomalies, and tunneling anomalies. These are your DC sync, DC shadow, ASREP roasting, Kerberos roasting, fileless malware transfer, DNS hijacking, fast flux, and a lot of other stuff, RDP anomalies. So it's a very detection-filled release. Now, how do we differentiate ourselves from the rest of the pack? When I see Trellix NDR, here are the three things which really sets us apart, right? Number one, we are the only true NDR solution which is a replacement for intrusion detection and prevention systems. What that means is if a CISO has an IDPS, we can go in and just replace that outright. Every other NDR kind of sort of using third-party integrations, using off-the-shelf technology, says they can do an IDPS replacement, but they really can't. It is every other NDR is supposed to go on top of an existing IDPS solution. That means every CISO has to budget for that. For us, it's a direct pick up, replace, and that puts us in a very unique place. The reason we can do that, we have that IDPS heritage from McAfee, from FireEye, from coming into Trellix, and that actually puts us in a very, very strong position that no other NDR vendor can claim. Secondly, every other NDR vendor has, for more advanced detection, those AI-based detection, they can be deployed in cloud or hybrid. When you go on-prem, oh, this detection won't work because this is AI and this is cloud, this detection. We are the only pure on-prem play. Every advanced detection that we have, that everyone else has, you can deploy that in an air-gapped environment, it will work. There is no uh, sort of small print saying, hey, this will only work if you have cloud connectivity or this or this. We don't have that. It's everything goes on-prem. We're an on-prem first, air-gap first deployment, which no one else can say. Another aspect where we have been focusing on recently is detection of phishing attacks on network. Now, a lot of SOC analysts listening to this would say, hey, phishing attack is an email thing. It's not a network thing. Well, it is a network thing as well. Phishing attack on an email means we got a phishing email. Same thing on a network means somebody clicked on that. So that is a much more higher severity alert. So, and that is something we are able to do uniquely, again, because Trellix is a platform. We have that email threat intel that is coming in that informs our NDR, and we're able to deliver that. And frankly, if you go for a pure play network only or NDR only vendor, you're not going to get that. It's not even possible for them to deliver that. That's all that comes to mind right now. But if you want more stuff that we can do that's better than everybody else, feel free to reach out, folks.
Excellent. Well, that's great. Really, really good detail in terms of some of the key differentiators that we have. And when you combine that with what Ravi was talking about, the specific use cases, when we think about what we're doing for lateral movement, how we're bringing together IT/OT convergence, or quite frankly, as you pointed out, Haroon, for customers who are completely air-gapped, where they need something that is dedicated to that OT environment, where a lot of vendors are not able to serve that need. We have that capability to be able to work in those environments. So architecturally very strong. You talked about detection use cases, increasing the MITRE coverage, and you cited some specific examples there. Love all that. Really, really rich feature set, architectural capability, working with our partners like Nozomi, and bringing in automation and efficiency into the SOC. Key release for us, NDR 4.1, really, really special capabilities as it pertains to all those use cases we talked about today. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. Really love the highlights that you brought out. Really appreciate that. And for more information, please check out the communications links and how you can get in touch with us to learn a little bit more about Trellix NDR 4.1 and what we bring to the market. Thanks very much for your time. Take care.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, everybody.